Hi there, trainees and future trainees. I'm TrainerKelly of TrainerKelly's network, where I make things for me and I share them to inspire and entertain you. So these are the stories that I've written with my characters since the end of 2020. Now, did I just start writing in 2020? No. I would say that I started writing stories with my characters towards the end of 3rd grade. I already had been drawing them towards the end of 3rd grade. I had retold like 3 episodes from a TV series that I love, and then I just added myself into it. And that was like really the start of me actually like writing actual stories with characters in them. And yes, I'm including myself as a character. My story writing though didn't really explode until the next year in 4th grade. To kind of give you a clue of the time frame, this is like 2001 into 2002. And so I started writing a lot more. I started making chapter books that were both fan fiction and original works. Unfortunately, I don't have most of those. Some of them are given away to friends, but the original story in particular, I had some trauma around it. So one day when I was cleaning my room, I actually put it into a trash bag and threw it out. I have learned because of that, no matter how bad something makes me feel, if I made it, don't throw it out. Even though I don't have that story from 4th grade, I do have a story from 5th grade. So this right here is We Are the Girls Who Escaped the Orphanage, The Wilderness Girls. This is a novel that I had started when I was in 5th grade. The main characters' names start out as Kula and Kulala, and then they are given permission to rename themselves, and they rename themselves Starry Space and Wilderness. Please keep in mind these 2 characters, one is 7 and the other one is 5. And I never finished this story, but it exists, and it is a chapter book, and it is one of my earliest pieces of writing that I have. I might have some earlier pieces too in the form of movie scripts, but this is one of the earliest like prose novel-esque stories that I have on me, as far as I know. Speaking of movie scripts, so this script right here is either from late elementary or early middle school. It's called Miracles. This is surprisingly a finished script. It's not that long, but it is finished. And there is actually a recording of my younger sister and her 2 friends acting it out. I don't recall if they actually followed this script or not, but this is the script. I was actually going to adapt this into a manga at one point during middle school. I remember my younger sister getting upset with that. But in 2020, I actually adapted it to an actual story. And by actual story, I mean, like, I don't know what you call this. I call it prose. Is that what you call it? I don't know. You know, like, this is, like, a novel. You know, ever since I started writing, I've been told that I have a talent for it. I actually have an old Microsoft Publisher site where the blurb about me actually says that people told me that I had a hidden talent for writing. And I think this was happening before I really started like actually writing stories. I think the biggest jump in my writing actually came after I read this novel. This is Gravitation, the novel, published by Tokyo Pop back in 2006, before light novels were a big thing. This is it's not an adaptation, maybe I'll use the word spin-off. of the classic BL series Gravitation, which has an anime series and has a newer release with an all-new translation in an omnibus edition from Seven Seas. So if you want to go and read it, it is available now. Not this, but like the original manga series, where the art changes like every volume. But so I loved the writing style in this novel so much that I ended up mimicking it for my own. And the first thing I actually did to mimic the style was write a Gravitation fanfiction. And I remember one of the comments that I had gotten on it was that it just sounded so professional, and it made me so happy to hear that. So I do want to give some credit where credit is due, because even though the story itself, this novel is written by Jun Lennon in the original Japanese version, the translation is done by Andrew Cunningham, and then it was adapted into English by, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, and I apologize if I am not, if the person who adapted it sees this. The name is Shahan Nurses. Shahan Nurses. I'm going to put the name up on the screen. So, Shahan, I do apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. You are the reason why I write better. You're the reason why I improve the skills. All because Tokyopop had to adapt this novel. So thank you. So you might be wondering, if I was reading this back in 2006/2007 and it influenced me to write better, has my writing improved since then? It's been 15 to 20 years. I'll be honest, I actually have no clue. All I know is that when I read my own stuff, I get really excited and like I'm in almost disbelief that I even wrote it. It doesn't even matter when I wrote it either. I find myself like stuff back in like 2009, I will read and I'm floored that I was the one who wrote it. I read stuff from a few months ago and I am floored that I even wrote it. Like, I was poking through Cuthbert and Jody's story and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to sit down and actually read this. So I wrote it. I wrote it, but haven't actually like sat down to read it yet. I'm giving a little bit of time so I can actually see the flaws in it. But gosh, I like the stuff that I write, I can't believe I wrote this. I love this. Not to say that there isn't stuff that I don't think is good. There's definitely stuff that I don't think is good. Bedelia's stories. Clyde's typical day. Honestly, y'all, I'm really excited to be able to share all my original works with you. And like be able to like also like talk about them, so like you can learn more about like the history of why I made them and like my memories behind them, why I made some decisions and whatnot. I mean, it's up to you whether or not you care about that. You might just want to read them yourself, but if you're someone who like loves the behind the scenes and you want to know more about like my thought process and memories attached to it and stuff and how all those connect together, definitely give me a subscribe so you know when TrainerKelly's network relaunches, so you can go read them all yourself. I will see you next Wednesday, trainees and future trainees. Bye!